Hello, hello. Welcome to Top Shelf Reviews. I just got back from the second annual Oregon Whiskey Festival in beautiful Bend, Oregon. Had a great time, tried a lot of amazing whiskeys. Figured I'd show you guys what I ended up picking up. We're going to start with a couple things we picked up from some local liquor stores in Bend. First off, Commissario Blanco Tequila. Thanks to Jones & Man on TikTok for the recommendation. We actually felt like making some Trail Toddy Paloma fizzes while we were there. No idea why, we were at a whiskey festival, but it sounded good. And a 3rd Street Liquor in Bend was right across from the hotel, so made it nice and easy. Next up, also from 3rd Street in Bend, is the Woodinville Muscatel Finished Straight Bourbon, coming in at 100 proof. Didn't even realize this had been released, so I try to pick up everything they offer, so this is going to go in the collection. Today on the way back, we stopped into, I want to say Trails Head Liquor on the north side of Bend, and they had a Balcones Texas Single Malt, cast strength at 66% alcohol, and it is a single barrel collection for Trailhead Liquors. I really liked the lineage, and the clerk there said that he has both this and the lineage, and he prefers this. He equated it to a chocolate-covered espresso bean, which sold me on it. Also a pick from out there, my first Wilderness Trail product. This is the Family Reserve Cast Strength Bourbon Whiskey at 56.03%. Ages 4 years and 5 months with a number 4 char. So really looking forward to trying this out. It is bottle number 118 of 210. So those are the liquor store pickups. Everything else we bought while at the Oregon Whiskey Fest. It was nice that they had, I think they call it like a bottle concierge or a pickup. So you could buy everything, they'd take it off to a table, and then when you left, you could just pick up everything that had your wristband number on it. So you didn't have to hold a bunch of bottles while you were walking around, which made it really nice. Couple things from New Deal Distillers. This is the Bootstrap Whiskey, which is 43%. This is, they call it an experimental blend of high malt barley with double pot distilled, aged in 30-gallon New American Oak barrels. This is coming out of Portland, Oregon. It has a little bit of peat smoke on one of the grains, I want to say. So you get just a little bit of campfire vibes. Love the sample of this one. Next up we have Four Spirits Single Malt Whiskey. I believe they're out of Corvallis, Oregon, coming in at 40%. This is was a really good single malt, a little bit unique in my opinion. Didn't get to hear a bunch of their backstory, but I liked the whiskey enough that I picked up a bottle. Alright, next up we got a bunch of stuff from Pilot House Distilling in Astoria, Oregon. They had 3 offerings there. They also make an ocean aged, which is pretty small batch, and they were out by the time we got there at like 5 o'clock on Saturday. So starting out, we have their straight bourbon whiskey, 46%. This had really good kind of sweet caramely notes on the nose, and tasted like a really, really nice bourbon. We also picked up their American whiskey, which I have heard good things about from one of my coworkers. This guy is in at 40%. And is a blend of whiskeys, thus just an American whiskey. And then we got their straight single malt whiskey. This one had some nice kind of spice notes on it. There were a lot of single malts at the Oregon Whiskey Festival, and this was one of my favorite ones, so grabbed a bottle of that as well. From Crater Lake Spirits, I've got a lot of their stuff already. Coworker also mentioned the Rock and Rye, which is basically a bottled cocktail. This is I call it a classic drink with rye whiskey, dark cherry, blood orange, and house-made bitters. Kind of like an old-fashioned in a glass. You can see we got into it a little bit. For some reason, cocktail seemed awfully refreshing after drinking more than 20 whiskeys in the heat of a mid afternoon. Also from New Deal, their Oregon Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This guy comes in at 43%, and it is completely made in Portland, Oregon. To me, this was one of the most classic Kentucky-style bourbons that we had there. Really friendly and approachable. Sometimes I just like a classic, easy sipper. This was a good one from New Deal. The final one is from Double Circle Spirits. This is their small batch straight wheat whiskey. Coming in at 45% alcohol. This is from the Johnson Ranch in Oregon, which they said was about 7 miles upriver from the mouth of the Deschutes, which is a place I have backpacked probably a dozen times. So it's kind of fun to hear their story, hear about how some relatives a few generations back helped build the bridge that was blown up during the train race. So some really neat history there. What I really liked about this straight wheat whiskey, 100% wheat whiskey from their farm, and then it is distilled and aged, I believe, in Portland, is it has some really interesting Christmas kind of baking spice notes that I think will pair really well with the Trail Toddy. I'm going to try it in their spiced Irish coffee and probably their classic Trail Toddy. To me, this just immediately took me to sitting around a campfire when it's kind of cool out, enjoying something slightly spiced. So I really look forward to trying this mixed in with some of the cocktails. But it was fantastic on its own, and cool that they're, local to Oregon. They're a place I've been many, many times. So if you've tried any of these spirits, comment below. I look forward to kind of fresh cracking them and getting reviews on a bunch of them. The liquor store ones I haven't tried, so we'll see how we do there, but everything else I was able to try before I bought it, which was really nice. So I look forward to going back next year for the Oregon Spirit Whiskey Festival. Thanks for having us. Cheers.